I'm back. Finally, able to come out with a new episode. Took a little break. Went to amazing retreat. And just tried to get everything back refocused. A lot of other things going on career-wise, design-wise. So just kind of took a little break to kind of just get everything back in order. And I'm back, full force, full throttle. Got a great lineup coming up. And, it's always good to kind of just take a little break and get to step back and look at where you're going, what you're currently doing, and even just kind of just focus on some other stuff for a little while. So, new episode out. I'm back, y'all. Welcome to the Passion Behind the Art Show. It's all about diving in with individuals to learn the story behind their passion. It's your host, Daryl Pinna. All right, well, I am super excited to have Björn on the Passion Behind the Art Show. He's an amazing lettering artist, graphic designer, the whole 9 yards. Calling to us from Sweden. Björn, welcome.
Hello, Daryl. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, I'm glad we were able to make this happen. Sometimes the time difference kind of is a little challenging.
Yeah, but this is pretty good for me, but early for you, I guess.
No, I'm usually up, so it's no worries at all. I'm usually up. So let's jump right into it. How did Björn's creative journey start?
Yeah, that's not that easy to answer, I guess, in a clear way, but I guess it's a series of events that one thing lead to another thing and so on. And my memory from when I was young is not that great, but if I try to reflect on, the past and stuff, and I guess I was that kid in school that was good at drawing, and I always been creating stuff at home at first,
Right.
Drawing, painting, working with clay, building paper models, graffiti, all sort of stuff. And I guess also, if I think about it now, all the toys I played with, I guess, have had a large impact as well. Since there are pretty graphic design stuff, played a lot with Star Wars toys and Lego. I drew a lot of Mad Balls, Garbage Pail Kids and stuff like that.
Nice.
And I guess those things were pretty, simplified and colorful, and I guess that style grew on me and led to, when I got a little bit older, I started thinking about, can you have this for a living, to play with letters, colors, shapes all days? And that, from that day, I guess I knew I wanted to do something within the graphic design field or something like that. Uh-huh. I guess I didn't figure that out that early, exactly what that was, but so the short answer is, as far as I can remember, I wanted to do something creative, at least.
Okay, cool. So when did you know for sure, okay, I want to do this for a living? When was it after high school? Was it during higher learning? When did you know for sure?
I guess it was in Sweden, we go 10 years for, as we call it, grundskolan. And after that, we have 3 years, I don't know what's similar to your in the States, but senior high school or something. And I guess that was perhaps in the 9th grade, because I applied and got in on the school called media program, basically. There I decided to specialize in graphic design, so that was, I guess, 10 to 12 years going into school. So then I was pretty sure, but I guess I didn't know exactly. I didn't have so good knowledge about what will the actual work be consisting of. I just wanted to create stuff, and I loved all the graphic design classes.
Nice.
So I guess it started there.
Okay. So when did the shift and the focus started to come into lettering? Like, how did that happen? And what were you doing before you started getting into lettering?
When I reflect now, I can see that I was been drawn to letters, and like I said earlier, with doing some graffiti, not on walls though. I was I had a too good better to draw outside, but on paper anyways. But always when I had some spare time, I'd doodle letters and try out stuff. But the first year I worked in-house at an automation company with branding, all sorts of stuff, ads and brochures, anything. And then I did that for like 5 years without any lettering professionally. And after that, I continued to an agency and worked there for like 5-6 years, I guess. In the last couple of years at the agency, I started to post some stuff on Instagram. I believe that's where it started, and then I got attention for it and people liking it, and I was thinking, oh, this could perhaps be my thing. I guess I never thought I was really good enough on specializing on anything. I mean, I like to draw stuff, but I didn't consider myself good enough to be like an illustrator. And the graphic design field is so broad. Everyone's a graphic designer, and it seems like there was an opportunity to like, this could suit me. It's sort of, you have this box, the alphabet, and that suited me. It's not, all over the place creative. It's sort of, what should we call it? But you have the boundaries.
Right.
And that makes it easy for me to create. So I guess that's where it started. Like, it wasn't the plan from the beginning. It just happened.
It just happened. Makes sense. But yeah, man, you do some really good work, and going through your stuff, like, you've done a lot of cool stuff.
Thanks a lot.
So when practicing lettering, what would you say was the hardest thing to kind of learn to do when it came to lettering? Gave you the most challenge?
I guess it's always it's like you evolve all the time, so it's like different steps. When I started out, it felt pretty easy in the beginning to like, oh, this is, I sketch a few times, it's starting to look pretty cool. Then you lay to rest and you look at perhaps some other artists and this the practice more, and then you like, okay, so you gotta put in the hours, but there's always, I'm starting to realize it after doing this for like 4 years, pretty much full time, that there's so much to learn. Like,
right, it's true.
Just within a specific field, like Spencerian script or something, you can work a lifetime with that, I guess, to be really. So, but at the same time, I love being able to switch style for the specific project and for the goals for that stuff. So I don't want to niche myself even more. So I think it's really fun, but it's always, there's always stuff to learn.
Right, it's true. It's always. And then with the different mediums and different tools that come out, that's another thing, how to mix it up. That's another thing that comes into play too.
Yeah, exactly. That's another dimension of it, just to enhance the feeling of that particular thing you're working on. Perhaps that it's, do watercolor for that piece. And the first time you do something, it's not going to look that awesome. So just... Yeah, it's a process.
Makes sense. So, what would you say was the hardest thing you had to overcome during your journey, just in general, in your creative journey?
Yeah, I guess believing in myself is the foremost important step to overcome. And that's basically... always in life something important, but for me it was when I started my own firm, just to take the step to really, okay, I'm good enough to do this, to go my own. That was not easy, but at the same time, when you have made the decision, at least for me, I'm very determined and to follow through 100%. So, but to come to that point, to take the decision, that's my biggest struggle. I don't know what that's called in English, but horoscope and things like that. I'm born in October, and the scale is my
symbol.
Talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
so
your
I guess
sign.
I'm having a bit of trouble sometimes choosing about different stuff. So that's one of my struggles.
Awesome. Yeah, I think for some reason, I don't know, but we all kind of run into that point where we're like, are we good enough to do this?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. So who would you say were some of the people that you kind of surround yourself with, your support system, to kind of keep you motivated, keep you grounded, and just kind of inspire you?
Well, that's, I guess that will take longer than the show to cover them all, but I guess the most important are my family, of course. They have always been very supportive. That's something that gives me energy and inspiration as well. Besides that, considering work life, I had a teacher when I was first going into graphic design stuff, and looking back now, I think she had a really large impact on my belief of what I can do. Or for her, the idea and the thinking, the creativeness was so much more important than the outcome, the quality of. So she learned me to think big. That was she was awesome. And then I also had a colleague at the agency I was working on, Annika, that also gave me the trust to take on projects that I hadn't done before. But she was so calm and self-confident. You can do this. That at the time I started as a graphic designer at the agency, and from the things that she learned me, and I could continue to grow. And a bit later on, I become an art director at the same agency. After that led to starting my own business. a couple of years later. So it's not always that easy to see which persons that are important to you, or that small thing that later on plays a vital role.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can relate to that.
No, I understand. I understand you 100%. The teacher one really intrigued me, because I just feel like, to be able to do that for someone, to kind of help them make that shift into, and then when you look back, you say, okay, it was this person, this teacher, or this coach, or this, this whoever, this person, this mentor that kind of helped you, especially the idea that you said her focus was more on the thinking versus the outcome. You know what I mean? Like, do you remember like something specific that she did or something specific that she said to you?
No, not exactly, but I remember it felt like I was playing like on the class. It was just sort of letting loose and just go nuts and don't think so much about what will happen in the end. But that's like, for me, it's mostly that I am that person thinking about, okay, will this be good? And so that was, I need to, it was a good experience. So.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. All right, so let's jump to some book recommendations.
Yeah, sure. I love books. Love to read, to get off the computer as often as I can. And I have pretty many books, but I love Jessica Hirsch's In Progress lettering book about, I found it, when I first read it, very easy to understand and follow her process, and she's very open with, transparent with the full process. And the funny thing, when I was reading it, I understood that I was pretty much following her process without knowing it. So
cool.
It just, opened my eyes. Okay, I'm doing it like this, pretty much. And plus a bunch of tricks that I didn't do as well, of course.
Right.
Then I have another book called The Advertising Concept Book. Do you know it?
No, never heard that one.
Let's see, who's the author? Pete Barry.
Oh, Pete Barry. Okay. I've heard the name.
Yeah, the slogan is sort of think now, design later, and like connect to what we were talking about earlier. It's more about thinking, the concept. Do that first, and then you can start working with the design. That's a great book.
Yeah, I'm already intrigued about it.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna get it.
The whole book is full of like sketches for ads and stuff, where you can totally see that the idea is already there, even though it's just pencil sketch. So that's a good read. And there's a bunch of other stuff. I like House Industries, the Process is the Inspiration.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that one.
That's a good one as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, cool, cool.
Yeah.
So, what's the first 60 minutes of your creative day like? First hour.
Yeah. Okay, the first 60 minutes of my day is probably not that creative, actually. I mean, I like to read. I read a lot of blogs and stuff, and everyone is writing like, "You shouldn't do this." The first 60 minutes. I mean, that's the time where you should be doing all the creative stuff when you're boosted from the night's sleep and stuff like that. But I try to focus on my family when they're home and when they are awake, and perhaps I sit a few hours after they have gone to bed or something, and that could lead to me being a bit slow in the mornings. So usually I start with a bunch of cups of coffee and answering to inquiries and emails that probably came the night before. But so I usually start with that and plan the day. Okay, today I will focus on this one and this project, and try to keep it like that. So
I like that.
It works for me. So yeah.
I mean, to be honest, sometimes that's all you can do. What works best for you, because everyone's morning is different. You know what I mean? I'm kind of the same way. I kind of spend a certain portion of my morning with my family before my kids go to school and before I got to So I'm kind of the same way. So it kind of depends on each person's life. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and that's probably a good lesson to take on, just to adjust it to yourself, understand who you are and what you're good at, how's the situation. And, you cannot follow every rule you really need.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right, so what's that the best recommendation of product, if it's a product that you feel like you can't live without, that's not your phone?
I guess for me, I'm sort of creative all the time, and I have no problem getting inspiration from whatever. And I can work with, paper, or if I'm with the kids and we're doing some clay stuff, and all of a sudden I have a plan and doing something
right
extra, but that also, for me, I need to have some time to get off all the ideas and stuff I'm thinking. So for me, Lego bricks works for me.
Nice. I like that.
That works perfect. I like that, the organized things, and the mechanical part of it, just to sit and build and get rid of all the other thoughts and just focus on that one. That's sort of a reboost period that I like.
I like that. I like that a lot. I like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty unique. I like that.
Yeah, perhaps Lego bricks is not the solution for everyone, but but I guess you need to find some, relaxed time.
True.
Do you have any? Have you found anything that works for you? Or
well, for me, my best inspirations probably come from either being outside, just being outside in nature, or just watching some kind of medieval or ancient kind of those sword days shows. Shows from those days when they only used swords and shields and spears, stuff like that. Kind of gets my inspiration kind of bubbling, But especially being outside kind of helps me a lot. Just seeing the trees and stuff like that really does a lot for me. Not sure, but yeah, it just does.
Going out in the real world.
Yeah. So that's my thing. That's my thing. So what's next for Björn?
Yeah, that's a good question. I got how many ideas, but I haven't had the time to reflect yet. So, but I'm planning to have like a day now in the end of this year.
In the holidays.
Yeah, exactly. Just to try to figure out what to focus on. As I said, there are a lot of stuff. That's not the problem. It's just, okay, what's most important to me? There's always so much you want to do, and But I guess some stuff I know I want to do, and I guess probably will happen, is I want to do some charity work. So I guess I need to put some time in that just to find the right project. And also fonts. I would
create some fonts, design some fonts. Yeah, nice.
I haven't done any yet, but it's on my list. But I need to find a sort of a hole somewhere where I think that I just don't want to create it just for myself, just to learn, but something that could be perhaps useful if I can find something that's missing somewhere.
That sounds good.
Yeah. An illustration. I would love to do some more illustration as well. So that would probably be on the list also.
Okay. Cool.
But we'll see.
Right.
What happens in the future. That's something I've learned.
Right.
But I guess it's good, not just to focus on the next year, but I guess reflecting back on this year as well, to see what I have done and perhaps see the progress. It's easy to get stuck in the moment now when nothing happens. I'm still learning a lot of stuff. Yeah, but if you go back, you can see, okay, this time last year you were at this place, and yeah.
Makes sense. So what advice would you have for creatives or anyone that's trying to, create out there?
Yes, I think it sounds cliche, but that everything is possible is something I believe is true, but it's not going to be easy probably, but if it's your passion and you really like doing it, you can do it full time. But it's not easy to find your thing probably. But I guess if the things you're doing in your spare time when you're not working, the things you make time for, start thinking about that one, and perhaps could this be something that I could do for a living? By perhaps combining it with something else.
Right.
So just, be patient. It probably will take some time before you can really, do it for a living, but have faith and keep doing it. That's one thing. That's probably the most important thing I want to share.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think being patient is probably the hardest but most necessary.
Mm.
Yeah, it's necessary to just kind of get anywhere that you want to get. But it's hard, but it's necessary.
And I mean, if you're on wherever social media platform you're on and you're seeing all the other, that you inspire, that just sort of spots up artwork after artwork that are stunning, and you think, I will never get to that level. But everyone started somewhere.
Facts.
As a beginning, so hang in there.
Yeah, love it. So where can people go to learn more about you, what you're doing? Where can people find you online?
A bunch of places, I guess, but on my website, on Instagram, Facebook. That's probably my 3 top places if you want to find me. So if you're listening, just reach out, leave a comment, and I would love to hear about what you're doing, or if you need help with anything or advice.
You want to tell them your Instagram handle and your website link?
Yeah, it's the website is bjornberglund.com. And on Instagram, I have a crazy name, but it's I don't know how to pronounce it real, but BBQUEREN.
Awesome.
BBQRN. I hope you will write it down as well, Darren.
Yes, yes.
Hopefully
everything will be in the show notes.
Oh, that's good. Sometimes typing is better. That's my thing. Letters. Yeah.
Well, Björn, it's been awesome having you on, man, and hearing a portion of your story. Love your work, and just keep cranking out good work, man. It's been inspiring.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. It's been an honor to be on your show.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks a lot.
Man. We'll definitely keep in touch, but for now, I'll let you go. But thanks again, bro.
Take care.
Thanks again for listening to this week's episode. I really appreciate you taking the time out. I hope, you got something from it, that it brought you value, and, you were able to pull some key tips, some key practices that can help you to take your career to the next level and just to elevate your mindset in general. If you want to learn about everything that I'm doing, you can go to DPCREATES.com. That's D as in dog, P as in Peter, creates.com. Or go to the podcast website. That's passionbehindtheart.com. Thanks again for listening to this week's episode. Be blessed.